Talking Lackawanna College Falcons football again this week here at our Carol and Janelle as we get ready. Hudson Valley is the team. Coach, a little bit of a wrinkle into last week's schedule. Hey, what are you going to do? So you guys will be out for your first official football game this weekend.
Absolutely. It hasn't happened, never to us in the 25 years I've been here. But we will start our first game at Hudson Valley up in Albany, New York. I'll play them every single year. Good, solid football program every year, and we look forward to getting up there.
Talk about traveling with these guys and, of course, getting used to some of that stuff. And you guys travel some nice places. So what is it about just getting them acclimated to some of the things here at Lackawanna College?
You know, I think it's really important for them, not only from our standpoint of traveling, but when they go to the next place, you know, how to act and the way to look and to present yourself. Young people are always watching us all the time, and it's wonderful to see the way our kids travel. So they do a great job. We'll go same day to this one and get up there and play them at 1 o'clock.
Hungry is, I guess, the theme this year. You guys want to play a football game. Talk about how things are going in practice.
You know, things have been fantastic. I thought today was one of the best practices we had in about 5 years. You know, it's really hard for a team to get ready to go play all week long and prepare and then have a game canceled. I know some of the people are having that problem right now with the weather conditions around the country. So it's understandable, but our guys had a great practice. They're super enthusiastic. They just want to play.
So much talent. We keep talking about that theme, but of course you got to put it all together. Talk about what you're seeing with the cohesiveness right now. Let's first start on the offensive end.
You know, I think it's getting better offensively because we're learning more of the system and we're getting deeper in it. The more reps you take, the better you get. So I think we're becoming a football team that has gotten better this week, even though we didn't get to play last week. Josh
Bardini, your offensive coordinator, talks a lot about knowing his stuff and, of course, going up against you in practice, D-line, he O-line. What are you seeing right now about an offensive line that you're liking?
You know, that's the deepest offensive line we've had since I've been here. You know, they're 10 guys deep. We never are. You know, junior college, even Penn State in those places, you know, have a hard time with depth at the big guy position. And those guys are super deep, so it makes it great protecting, you know, our quarterback and also running football.
And of course, changing, you know, last year's quarterback to this year's quarterback a little different. So talk about guys adapting to some of the changes you'll have in the offense.
Yeah, it is a little bit different. You know, we have a big, strong, tall right-hander that can throw the heck out of the football, and he can run a little bit too. But I think it's going to be a situation where they got to protect him in the pocket a little bit more. And with Big Joel Shar, big running back, big 230-pounder, he's going to be somebody who's going to be running downhill. So be kind of tough to stop, I think.
Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. And I know we're replacing some guys, linebackers, and different guys as you do each and every year. Let's first start up front with some of that front line.
You know, the up front talent's good, and I think it's 6 or 7 deep. You know, so we put pressure on the quarterback. But where we're great is in the second half, in the secondary this year. Last year, our secondary was thin. We came in sometimes with 5 people in the game and had to go through a whole season, but that made them so much better. So we had 4 returners from that. So our secondary is super solid. Quarterback's going to have a hard time getting any place with the football, which makes the rush better.
Of course, your defensive guy, Billy Reese, talks a lot about feet, quick feet. Talk about what you're seeing right now out of the quickness over there.
You know, it's quickness and it's team speed. You know, I defensively, every year I say this, but I think we're faster defensively than we were a year ago. So it makes for a small field for the offense. And I think, you know, having guys who could run like that really covers up a lot of errors.
Let's talk about the 2 guys who we're going to be chatting with very shortly here at our Carol and Janelle. Tell us a little bit about each of them.
Well, our quarterback, Michael Dare's a Rutgers transfer. He's from New Jersey. Both these guys are from New Jersey. You know, big, strong guy who can really throw the football and run a little bit too, and makes great decisions on the field. So he's a highly intelligent kid who puts the ball where he has to put it, and he's got a gun. Tyrone Washington's been with us. He was a starting corner for us last year, and is starting again this year. Once again, older guy, you know, a guy who's been experienced enough. If you listen to our huddle calls, and you listen to us on the field, you'll hear Tyrone on all the coverages back and forth. So he leads them back there because of his understanding of everything. So that goes a long way when you have a lot of young players. So those 2 guys are leadership guys, older guys, and I think people that we're going to count on throughout the football season to make sure the young guys do what they need to do.
Scouting report with Hudson Valley as far as, you know, watching film, breaking down film, knowing what they've done in the past. Pretty similar stuff?
Yeah, they're 4-3 defense. You know, they've been over and under kind of look. They've been like that a long time. Quarters coverage, 4 guys back there. I think that, you know, we're going to try to establish the run like we always do, but we're going to throw the football. You know, people like to crowd the football against us because of our running game, but we can throw it over the top of it too, so I think that would be a problem for them. Offensively, you know, they're kind of a 12 personnel, 10 personnel. They do a lot of different things along the way. The running back's a smaller kid, but super fast, and those kind of things. But I think if we can control the line of scrimmage up front, offensive defensively, they're going to have a hard time moving the football. and they're going to do things they didn't want to do. We always say this all the time. We want all of our opponents to have their B game. We want to take their A game away. Hopefully we can do that on Saturday.
Mark Duda and the Lackawanna College Falcons ready for Hudson Valley this weekend. Tyrone Washington joining us from the Lackawanna College Falcons football team. And Tyrone, you've been around a little bit here at Lackawanna, so you have some experience. Let's go back to last year where you guys played at a real high level and played in some big games, including the final game.
Yes, sir. Well, coming from last year, I like to say that we've improved a lot from secondary to down to the D-line. I'm looking forward to do bigger things this year based on my experience from everywhere to knowing the system more to my athleticism.
Let's talk about that secondary in particular. How many guys have gone on to do bigger and better things? So are you one of the veterans back there?
I'll say we all came back. It was me, James Chukra, Jerome Smith, DJ Anderson. So with those other three guys, I feel like we can lock down receiving core and make our quarterback day really hard.
Some of those guys in front of you, though, I know you lost a couple linebackers, you graduated some guys up front. Talk about replacing some of those guys and some of that talent there on that defense right now.
When it comes to replacing them, I feel like we have the right people in line. Either as people that needed to know the system last year or people that were redshirted. So everybody that came back is ready to play.
How about some guys you're seeing flying around at practice? Because you guys are chomping at the bit to play that first game defensively. Who are you seeing flying around?
London Cloud, Dante Raymond, Keith Wells, even DJ Anderson. We try to compete with each other, even though we're on different sides, but we try to compete with each other every practice.
You guys get to see a great offense because the Falcons are pretty good offensively in practice every day. So talk about some things you see over on the offensive end that you like for the Falcons, knowing that you guys are probably going to be able to put some points on the board.
We see speed every day from Juwan Green to Prince. It's amazing how the pieces are getting put together from the quarterback. Now we know if Juan's running that post, the ball's going to get there for a fact. And same thing with Prince. If you're running that flag or that seam, the ball's going to get there. So,
and it comes in all different shapes and sizes. Their offensive. I saw some guy, man. He was like 6'5", 240 put together. Then you got another guy who maybe 5'9", $175, but really fast. So you got to be able to cover them all.
Yes, sir. And we do a good job doing that. And it's even tougher because we battle at it. So they're going to get theirs, we're going to get ours, but it makes us better as a whole.
You have a teammate here who's a quarterback, so you get to see what he's doing and what he's thinking out there. Or what are some things that have impressed you right now with your quarterback?
First, his arm strength. He doesn't look timid back there from when we had our live scrimmage. He's not afraid to get out the pocket and get that first down. He's smart with the ball. He's not going to force throws, so I can live with that.
Let's talk about life after high school and heading to Lackawanna College as far as getting yourself set up with Coach Duda, those early morning lift sessions or workouts or practices and kind of getting in a routine where, it starts to become second nature.
Yeah, start off with the 5:30s in the gym. I was always told, when you don't want to do something is when you really got to do it. So from Coach Duda's enthusiasm to the rest of the coaches, it feeds off to the players because if they're working, they're yelling, we have to work and we got to also push everybody else through.
I still am impressed with Coach Duda because he looks like he still can bring it. He's a big man. Talk about the way he commands the team. He definitely got that way about him.
He's the head man in charge, period. You hear that whistle blow, everybody is silent and listening to what Coach Duda has to say. He doesn't have to yell. He doesn't like to yell. And if he's yelling, we know we really messed up.
Life after Lackawanna College. Talk about what's next for you. What are some of those goals and dreams that you have?
One of my goals is to continue my education, first off, at whatever school that allows me to continue with there, and to keep playing football for as long as I can.
Your role model is your mom, so
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that relationship you have with her and why it's special.
First, she's a single mother, and three of us are siblings, and she makes it work. And being that it's paying for school, still handling with her business at home while I'm away from home, she makes it work every time. I commend her for that every day.
How about her trying to get to some games, or whether she's able to hear some stories about you or see some things? How often does she try to get there?
She'll bring the family if she has to. At the scrimmage against Montclair, my grandmother, my little sister was there, so if anybody can't watch them, she's coming. So she'll make an effort to come.
A lot of Tyrone Washington fans back at home in New Jersey, here in northeastern Pennsylvania with your fellow Falcons. Continued success. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
Michael Dare, the quarterback for the Lackawanna College Falcons here in 2017, is with us. And Michael, probably nobody might not be as enthusiastic about playing it down for the Falcons as you. When you're the quarterback, you just want to start slinging that ball. Let's talk about what you're looking forward to with Hudson Valley.
I'm looking forward to this game, especially cover 4, quarters press. 3-by-1. Man side on the one receiver side. Which I really love. Especially a lot of 3-by-1s. We have Juwan Green out there outside pressed with the corner. Man on man, and I think he could run with the best corners that go against him. So I really like that matchup. We have a lot of RPOs that will get us through the game too. So.
Weapons all over the place. So let's take us through. You mentioned one, but I'm sure you can mention 5 or 10 more. Yeah. But take us through a few guys during the first month of practice that you're saying, okay, I know I could do this with this guy and this with that guy.
And we have a lot of guys. Juwan, like I said, I could throw him the ball deep. He could jump. He could jump out of the ceiling. He could go grab the ball. He's got speed. He's fast. Coming into the slot receiver, we have Prince. Who's probably one of the quickest guys I've ever seen in my life. Let a ball go down the field. I know he's gonna run down and get it. And then you got the other slot receiver, Juice. Who's very quick also. Him and Prince. And speed-wise, they compare. Very closely. Juice, same thing. Throw a post deep. He'll run underneath and get it. Best is a great route runner. Especially on the short routes. Comebacks, digs, and all that. He's very physical. Great hands. And then tight end wise, Malik, is big tight end, big target, going on the flat routes, arrow routes, stick routes. Then going to the backfield, Joel Shaw, really big back, 230, 6'1". He could just pound the rock, get him up on that wheel route sometimes in the flat, give him the ball and just let him work his magic. So,
up front, Coach Pardini last week mentioned it. Coach Duda has mentioned it, that very, very talented, very strong up front. What are you seeing right now out of those guys?
Up front looks great. They're giving me a lot of time in the pocket from the scrimmages, especially in Montclair. I got hit very few times. Only one time I really got hit was on a naked, but you expect that from a naked. You really don't have blockers, so you got to take the hit and deliver the best throw that you can. But in man-on-man protection, I can sit in that pocket all day. Especially in the running game, they open up the running game greatly. So a lot of teams are gonna try to protect the run, stack guys in the box, and I feel like our line's going to be able to handle, a lot of blitzes, especially in the pass game. We're going to be able to get the ball downfield.
We all have a different path in life. Your path has taken you through Lackawanna College. Let's talk about all the positives so far that you've learned here as a Falcon.
I love my experience so far. I came in here August, and I'm going to be here semester. I'm going to be a mid-year guy, but so far I love it. I think JUCO, really taught me, be grateful for football, and you always have that second opportunity if the first school, doesn't always work out. So I'm very grateful for the staff here, and allowing me to come in here, work my tail off, and be able to compete for the job.
Let's talk about you come to Scranton, Pennsylvania. You got to learn a whole new group of guys and new coaches and different things, and not everything's glamorous about football. You got to sweat during practice, and you're getting dirty and all that other stuff. So talk about making the character building that you get from some of that and experience that you're having, the bonding that you're having with some of your teammates.
I think the bonding's going great. I came in here, I didn't really know anyone. My name around the team was the Rutgers kid, which was funny. I didn't know any names. I knew probably 2 names, my roommate and, probably the center, because we talked on Twitter. But, I think the bond is going great. I'm talking to a lot of guys as time go on, talking about football especially, and then we're just talking about life. A lot of people come from different spots. A lot of people have different backgrounds. A lot of people come from, bad places. A lot of people come from good places. So, just getting to know the players and, really getting deep and knowing, like, where they came from, like family, it really hits you hard.
No guarantees at the quarterback position. Talking to Coach Pardini, Coach Duda, you got a lot of guys around you are pretty good there at quarterback. Talk about some of the guys that you get to know there and know that they're pushing. They want to play too.
The quarterback group is great. I think Ryan's doing good. Calvin's doing good. I think Ryan improved, from the spring to now when I came and watched spring practice. And even Carlton. Carlton's coming in from, Connecticut, and, he really made himself compete, and, he really pushed me, But that's what it's about in the quarterback room. You got to all push each other just to get better. If you're not pushing, then, the starter or whoever's in the lead is not going to get better. So once everyone pushes each other, then, the level's going to go up.
You got an older brother, Matthew. You got a grandfather that you look up to. Take us through a little bit of both of those people in your life.
My brother's 4 years older than me, so growing up as a kid, I always played with him, his friends. So I was always playing, young kid playing with kids 4 years older than me, which I really think that helped, in my athletic career. Because I'm always playing against older kids, harder talent and all that. So it really allowed me to excel as a kid and get to where I am now. My grandfather, I look up to him, a lot. He's such a well-mannered guy, and he's been through a lot the past couple months, and he's really strong. So I take after him, and I love how he keeps fighting, with all his problems, and he makes it to every game. He loves it. There's never a down day with him. If you're a down day and you don't really want to talk, and a lot of people have that. You just don't even want to talk to anyone, and he'll just talk to me all the time. Soft manner. He'll just get me to that place where I could feel relaxed and be able to talk to him and get my day moving.
Well, Michael, I know a lot of people around you have high expectations, but nobody probably has them as high as yourself, and what you're going to do hopefully this year for the Falcons. So keep competing. We wish you well.
Thank you.